Continuing our implementation series, today we'll see a Cloud Code trigger that will resize images automatically. And by the way, if you like this content, please leave a like in this video and consider subscribing to the channel so you'll never miss out on new content like this one. So here I have a brand new parse application created in Back4App, and I'm going to create a class where I'm going to store a few photos, but I want those photos to be 300 pixels by 300 pixels. So in order to do that, I'm going to click create a class. I'm going to call my class dog, and just so I don't have to authenticate all the time, I'm going to create it as public. So create class and add columns. I'm going to add a new column of the file type and call it photo. So now when I add new records to this class, I can upload the photos over here. And here in the Cloud Code section, I created a package.json file. All you have to do is to click the Cloud folder and click New File, name it package.json, and in here I specified as dependencies the GIMP module in its latest version 0.22.8. GIMP is available at npm.js.com, and it is a JavaScript image manipulation program which is compatible with parse, so you can use this to treat images. We will be using this module to make all the resizing calculations for us in JavaScript. So back to my code, we're going to go to main.js file, and in here we're going to write the code that will resize the images for us. So the very first step is to instantiate GIMP that I just installed by using the package.json file. We'll do that by typing const GIMP equals require GIMP. And as we are going to deal with images, which is binary data, we need a buffer to handle the binary operations. We'll do that by typing const buffer equals require buffer dot buffer. Now that we have the modules that we're going to use instantiated, it's time for us to create our before save file trigger. And the before save file trigger will act on all classes. It's not class specific as other Cloud Code triggers. So all you have to do is to create a before save file trigger, and it will act on all files that you send to the system. We'll do that by typing parse.cloud.before save file, and this will take an async request that we're going to arrow function to our code. And inside here, we will start writing our code. And the very first step is to extract the file object from the request. We'll do that by typing const file equals request.file. This will extract only the file part of the request and keep it into the file variable. Now it's time for us to get the binary data out of this file. We'll do that by typing const original data equals await, because this is an asynchronous call, file.getData. Now we can use GIMP to read the image so we can resize it later on. We'll do that by typing const image equals await GIMP dot read buffer dot from original data, and we have to specify the format that we're going to read, in this case base 64. Now that we have this, we can use GIMP to resize this to the size that you want. In my case, I want it to be 300 by 300 pixels, so we're going to ask GIMP to resize by typing image dot resize 300 and then 300. Now this would force GIMP to make my images always 300 by 300, but many times you have different image proportions, and if you resize to 300 by 300, it will deform the image. But GIMP got this covered by having the property that you can send to the resize method, this resize not response, that will automatically calculate the proportion of the image, so it will look beautiful. It doesn't matter the size that you choose. It is gimp.auto. Resize. There we go. Now we should get the buffer of the resized image so we can write it as a parse file. We'll do that by typing const resized image data equals await image.getBuffer async gimp.mime_png. And by the way, all this is described on GIMP's documentation over here, so if you want to understand how GIMP works and what you can do with it, all you have to do is to check the documentation. It's very well detailed and have lots of examples that you can just copy and paste and it will just work. So back here, I'm going to put a semicolon over there. Now I have the buffer, and all I have to do now is to create my new parse file containing the data based on this buffer. We'll do that by typing const resized image file equals new parse.file. We are going to use the same file name, so file.name, and then our buffer, which is always base64 resized image data. And as we are writing it as a base64, we'll have to do it .toString and then specify the base64 format. Now, with that out of the way, all I have to do is to return this resized image, and parse should be able to understand and run it from now on. So return resized image file. There we go. Now, if I just deploy this, now if we go to our database, click the dog class, add a new row, and upload a puppy.jpg file that I have here that you can see is 800 by 800 pixels. Open, click add. Now the image was automatically resized by my Cloud Code, and if I open this, you see now it has 300 by 300 pixels because this is a square image. If it was a rectangular image, the proportion would be kept equal. I'm going to save this image as puppy2.jpg. And if we open this and get some info, you see that it's now 300 by 300. So, if you found this video helpful, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel so it can help us grow. I also share this link with a friend and they can learn something too. If you're not subscribed, thank you for that. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or an implementation you'd like to see, please leave in the comment section down below. We always answer all the questions. I hope this content was useful to you and hope to see you back. See you soon. Bye bye.